Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Sea Files. Thank you for joining us once again. I skipped yesterday because we put out the podcast video yesterday, so I figured it's enough for one day. I don't want to overwhelm everybody with multiple videos in one day. I've been reading in. I've been doing my Bible reading. I've been saying I want to spend an hour each day in the Bible, and so I read a chapter out of Genesis right as I'm going through the historic books, the Pentateuch and the Tanakh, and I'm reading out of Lamentations for the prophets right now. I'll be going into Ezekiel soon. Proverbs in the poetic books. I'm in Mark in the Gospels and in Romans in the epistles. So I read out of each one of those each day as I slowly progress my way through. And Proverbs has been very interesting lately because it's been talking, well, I'm in chapters 10, 11, 12, been transversing those. And there's a lot about deception and how deception eventually comes back to bite you. Lying comes back to bite you. Not being truthful comes back to bite you. And to put it in my wording, modern vernacular, I don't have the verses right in front of me. But if you look at Proverbs 10, 11, 12, right in that area, and see how many times it talks about deception and sinister acts, deceiving people on purpose, and where it leads you. Deception always gets caught, either by God or by man or by both. And it only leads to destruction. It only leads to problems. But if you're honest from the onset and you're truthful with people about everything, even the things that you're uncomfortable about, even things that are, problems in your past. I mean, if it's something that's become public, it's better to just admit it and say, yeah, that was a problem. That's something I did, and that's something that was wrong, and I repented of it, and I'm working to correct it. People will accept that far faster and better than trying to cover it up and trying to excuse it or trying to say, well, that's not really a problem. Well, that's not really evil. That's not really wrong. Or well, I'm a victim here because, it's my victimization that caused that problem. That kind of nonsense doesn't really bode well with people. Okay, and it definitely does not bode well with God. And so it's better to be honest. It's better to tell the truth. Sometimes you want to not say anything about things. I mean, there is a proverb that said, it's better to keep your, basically in modern vernacular, without the poetic brilliance of God that's put in there. Sometimes it's better to just keep your mouth shut and not say anything than it is to blurt out all of your secrets. If you've made it right with the person you may have wronged and you've made it right with God, then it's nobody else's business. But when you go into politics or you're running for office, that's usually where these things start coming out, because people start investigating and researching and trying to get dirt on you. And everybody has dirt. Everybody has dirt, right? You got to remember that. A lot of Pharisees run around saying, well, I ain't going to vote for that guy because he's got dirt. Well, so do all of his opponents, and so do you. So We should be a little bit more gracious when it comes to that. A lot of times we'll condemn a politician for the very same thing that we're guilty of. Matthew chapter 7 says, I ought not do that. So, but here's the thing. When you lie and you lie and you lie and you deceive and you cover up and you cover up and you deceive and you cover up and you do it constantly, after a while, people begin to lose trust in you. And trust is very important. Trying to get through life without earning trust from people is very, very difficult. Well, politicians in our day and age and the governments of our day and age have proven themselves to be incessant, constant liars and deceivers, and they cover it up constantly. And that is the reason people don't trust governments any longer. That's the reason that trust in our own federal government in the United States has hit an all-time low. They've been caught in too many lies, too many deceptions, and too many cover-ups. And now, when some government official comes out and says, well, that's just a conspiracy theory, or some Department of Environmental Agency or whatever comes out and says, oh, that's just a conspiracy theory, I start looking at it and going, okay, maybe it's true. Maybe it's not really a conspiracy theory. Maybe it's true. Because I know that those agencies constantly lie and constantly deceive. They've done it way too many times in the past, and sometimes have been caught in their lies. So why should I ever trust anything they have to say ever again? I talked recently in my videos about chemtrails up in the sky. And when you do a little bit of research on them, you learn that those are chemicals being sprayed in the sky. They're not contrails, which would be coming out of the jet engine of the jet. Come on over, truck. But when you look at an official government website on it, they try to tell you and try to gaslight you and say, no, that's just a conspiracy theory. That's just naturally occurring out of jet engines in the sky. There's really nothing to it. And then you watch a video of, I watched one recently of someone who was, their job in the Air Force was aeronautical environmental type stuff, where they would test the atmosphere, and this was an expert, an Air Force, a former Air Force expert in that area. And then there was also some environmental scientists and people like that in this video who were saying, or a documentary, it's actually a documentary called Look Up. You should watch it. Documentary called Look Up by We Are Change. And they did this documentary, and they interviewed these experts, people who knew what they were talking about and had worked in that field. Even showed the canisters in the airplane spraying this stuff into the atmosphere. A video of the canisters being sprayed. And they're saying, no, those are not contrails, those are chemtrails, and they are being sprayed in our atmosphere. So, for what purpose? Right? But the government comes back and says, oh no, that's not true, that's not true. Anybody remember the Russian collusion that they've tried to put on Trump? And yeah, how long did that one last before it was shown to be completely and utterly false and a big lie out of government? Why would government lie? To cover up things that they're doing that are illegal or nefarious acts against humanity. They're trying to cover it up. They try to gaslight people. Oh no, that's not the right way to think. You're supposed to think this way. And we're the official source. Therefore, you're supposed to believe us. And regardless of how ridiculous what we are saying, how ridiculous it is, you are to believe us. Because we are the official source. That's called an appeal to authority. It's a logical fallacy. Okay? But when there are people out here in the world who are very curious, and they don't buy the official narrative. They not for half a second. They're very cynical when it comes to government. They don't trust hardly anything that government puts out, so they do their own homework, and you end up with these documentaries like Look Up, or you end up with websites saying, no, this is really what's happening. Here's the proof. We've done the research. And then what does Google do? Google goes, no, we're shadow banning your website because it's filled with misinformation. These people are something else. They know no bounds. And so we're going to shadow ban that website, or we're going to just say you can't have the website, and we're going to hide that information because it's not the official government information. We want the people to be gaslighted and deceived, and we want them to believe whatever we tell them to believe. But it's not working. It's not working. The German government couldn't gaslight the German farmers enough to stop them from a massive protest. The Argentinian government could not gaslight the people enough to stop them from voting in a conservative that believes in national borders and believes in, Argentina, make Argentina great again, right? Argentina first, that kind of mentality. And challenging the globalists and telling Klaus Schwab to go pound sand, I mean, it's pretty much it. Jeez. I couldn't slow down that much. I was trying to come on in that van, rolling up really fast and tailgating that other truck. So anyway, I'm telling you what, when people tailgate, they don't leave a gap for you to get over to let traffic that's coming in that's slower. It's really dumb. It's stupid. You got to leave a gap for people to merge, And I was trying to slow down to let him merge, but he was going way too slow. I'm getting off on traffic again, and then the other guy he must have been doing 90 miles an hour coming up on me as I'm looking to see if I have a gap to get over. So anyway, that's stupid driving, folks. Don't do that, okay? If you're someone who watches my videos, do not drive like that. That's stupid. And all of these Mopars taking off and running from cops, that's stupid. Yeah, I got one too. That'll do the same thing that's on those videos. I never do that. That's stupid, okay? I'm just going to call it out for what it is. It's stupid. Don't do it. Drive normal. These are, this is like a 4,300 pound, 4,400 pound vehicle. When you're doing 70 down the freeway, which was the speed limit there, you've got a 4,400 pound bullet going down the freeway. A car is more deadly than a bullet coming out of a gun. If you have somebody behind the wheel of it that's an idiot and wants to drive it like they're Mario Andretti or Richard Petty running a race, it's stupid. Don't do that stuff. You're going to kill people. Okay? All right. Get off of my cop side and get back into what I was talking about. I told you my videos are real. You just get what you get on these videos. If I want to rant, I'll just start ranting. So anyway. So government has lost the people. All around the world, governments have lost the people. The people don't believe their governments anymore. I mean, if you look at Australia, the stuff that Australia has done to their people, I mean, they were extreme on the shutdowns and pushing the poison onto the people and all of that, and just really draconian. You know, you can't travel past this line or this amount of distance, and you know, basically starving people in their homes. The Australian government is doing that is extremely evil. What they did, it's evil, and they know it. They know it, and they don't care that I'm saying it because they know it. It's their globalist agenda. They know this, right? But the people also now know it, and the people have had enough. And that brings me to Iowa. Why did Trump take 54% of the vote in Iowa? I'll tell you why. Because the people are sick and tired of the deception of government. They're sick of government lying to them. They're sick of politicians, elected officials in government, being something that they're not. They're sick of the gaslighting. They're sick of the deception. And they look at Trump and they're going, well, he doesn't gaslight us, he doesn't deceive us, and he doesn't lie to us. Basically, with Trump, you get what you get. I may not like everything I see with Trump, but at least it's transparent. At least I know what I'm getting. Look at these other people running for office. You don't know what you're getting because they're gaslighting, they're lying, and they're deceiving. And you're going, oh, they try to look all prim like a Pharisee. They try to look good. They try to sound good. They have all their handlers, and they've got their surveys, and I'm sick of the surveys showing up in my phone. Republican Party. You better get your act together. And I know what you're doing in the surveys. You really don't care about my opinion or what I have to say. And then when the way the questions are written, I read the questions and I'm going, well, then wait a minute, this is either or fallacy. Either this or either that, yes or no. When I'm looking at it going, well, this question doesn't give the whole story, and there's more to it than that, and I can't do a yes or no on this because this is too simplified. There's more to it than what's in the question. So no, I'm not doing your stupid survey. I know what it's being used for. It's being used for manipulation. It's being used to get they do the questions in the surveys to get the answers that they want. So I read the questions, I'm going, oh, good night. This is one of those surveys, supposedly generic, right? We just really want to know what you think about these issues. But it's really a survey to be used against their opponent the way it's written. You know? I mean, typically that's how it is. And I'm going, forget you. I'm not doing your stupid survey. I'm going to make videos and talk about your survey and talk about how stupid they are. These Republican surveys that come into my phone, they ain't worth, they're worth garbage. They're all manipulative, and I just don't want anything to do with them. You know, if you really want to know what I think, let's sit down and have a 30-minute conversation over coffee. Okay? Then you'll know what I think. Because I'll be able to take an issue and really break it down to its basic elements and really examine it and say, here's what I think based upon this. So, yeah, government has lost a lot. And right there in Proverbs 10, 11, 12, I mean, you could take those Proverbs and apply it to our government and go, yep, nailed it. I mean, our government's doing everything the Proverbs are saying you should not do. And the government's getting caught, and the government is getting reamed by the people. And so that's why Trump had 54%. Because they trust him more than they trust the government, more than they trust the gaslighting, lying, and deceiving politicians. That's the reason. And so that's why 2024 is going to be very interesting, because okay, there we go. It's going to be interesting because the deception is being exposed. That's the reason. And as the deception is being exposed, these people who are being exposed are going to become even more hysterical and angry and adamant toward gaslighting and deceiving than ever before. Just look at MSNBC and the hysterics that come out of their little panels and their anchors, Rachel Maddow and those folks. They're getting hysterical because they know that they're going to be exposed for the lies and the deception that they put out. The same is true with the mainstream media. The same is true with government agencies. The same is true with current senators and Congress members, and I mean, they're becoming hysterical and saying really dumb things out of their hysterics because they're scared, they're angry, because of what they had determined for the rest of us, the agenda that they wanted to push onto the rest of us through psychological warfare, through gaslighting and all the other means, is not working. And they're getting mad about it. How dare we, the people, not do what they say and not follow their agenda? How dare we? Who do we think we are? That's the mentality. They're so arrogant. And the scripture says that pride goes before a fall. Well, they had their pride. They had their deception. They were so arrogant, thinking that they were smarter than the rest of us. And they're getting caught. And when a wild animal gets caught, he goes berserk in the cage, doesn't he? Well, they're going berserk. So I'm hoping that we get Trump in, but not only Trump, good, godly people all over the nation being elected to city council, being elected to school boards, being elected to county supervisors, being elected to state legislatures, governors, and senators and Congress members of the federal government, president, all the way through, that will go in and say, the shenanigans stop right here and right now. We're not doing this anymore. No more deception, no more gaslighting, no more lying, no more deceiving the people, no more trying to poison them with chemicals being sprayed in the air, no more trying to shut down their businesses because we make up a pandemic and just make one up, and we just follow whatever the world, the government, WHO tells us. No more treaties with the UN. All of that. We just say, nope, we're done. We're shutting it down. We need that all across the country, folks. Some of you need to run for office. Because if you've made it this far in this video, you're probably the type of person I'm talking about. You need to run for office. But I don't think I'm qualified. I don't have the education. No. If you have the character, if you have the life experience, and you have the integrity that we need, run for office. We're sick of the Harvard types, the Yale types, the Ivy League types, with all of their degrees, and we're smarter than you, and we're better than you, but we don't have any integrity. We lack integrity, we lack morals, we lack character, but we're better and smarter, so we're going to go in to government and we're going to take over and we're going to just dictate to the rest of you what you are to do and how you are to think and how you are to live. We're done with that. We're fed up with it. We're not doing it anymore. It's done. It's done. So if you're in government, you better educate yourself. And if you already know, if you understand these things already, then you need to run for office. And you need to serve the people of your community and help them by protecting them from this sinister evil that has come down onto the people from government. We have to infiltrate the evil that is in government and fix it. That's the bottom line. That's why I'm running for city council in my local city, the city of Locust, North Carolina. I'm going to be running for city council. I've been told that a couple of guys are probably going to come off of the council because they're older and they're ready to retire, come off of it. Well, I don't want somebody replacing them that's going to be some globalist. So I took the responsibility upon me to say, well, if anybody's going to go in and fill that seat, I'm not going to depend on somebody else to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take on the responsibility. And I'll do it with serving the people of this community in mind, and with the purpose of doing it with integrity, good character, no deception, no gaslighting, no lying, no deceiving, no cover-ups, total transparency with the community, and a listening ear to their wisdom, and maintaining my integrity with God's wisdom. That's what we need in government. Well, thanks for watching. I avoided 2 collisions on this drive. Anyway, so folks, I have a good driving record, okay? Really good driving record. No collisions, no tickets, no nothing. So that's because I do defensive driving. That's why. I do pay attention when I'm doing these videos. So anyway, God bless you guys. I'll see you next time soon. Probably within 2 weeks. Here comes somebody. There they go. There goes the siren. Within 2 weeks, or about 2 weeks, I'll be in my library doing these videos, or in my office up in my house, because I won't be making these drives anymore. So we'll look forward to that. And God bless you guys, and I'll see you next time on the C Files.